And we are on.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm going to call the August 20th OMP committee meeting to order at 8:30 a.m. right on time. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Do we have anybody here that would like to speak in public session? Hearing none, we'll move on. Presentation. First of all, glad to be part of your committee. This is my first time on OMP, so appreciate your willingness to allow me to come over and serve as your chairman of the committee. I'm not sure there's much I can offer on this committee like I could the other one, but I'll do my best. Glad to be part of you guys moving forward. Presentation discussion items, update on current projects, Mr. Eliezer.
All right, well, welcome aboard. As you know, you're familiar with this already from the finance committee. It's the exact same document, just typically a week or so more updated with finance. But just a list of the projects we have. Front page are the ones for the current year. We the item number 17 that you see down on the first page, it's a package that we had advertised, so it's out for bid right now, and that primarily is going to be just the replacement of a lot of equipment. Kyle, I think, is planning on procuring most, if not all of it, internally, and then we're going to have somebody come in and install it, much like we did with Code Utility last year. Anything else I may want to touch on that page? We're going to, number 5, indefinite delivery contract, which some may refer to that as being for on-call engineering services. We do have that ability in our procurement code now to go out and solicit for standby or on-call services. So we have that. It's getting ready to launch. It's in legal review right now as required by procurement policy. We're going to look it up to having 2 engineering firms to do what I would consider to be basic engineering services, not anything highly technical associated with the treatment process, but the ability to design pump stations, force mains, gravity sewer, rehabilitation, plan review, things like that. We have received number 7, 8 submittals for the CMMS software system upgrade. So that closed out on last Thursday, the 14th. So we'll begin the review process for that. That's going to be a considerable change for us, as it's going to allow us to begin moving into true asset management and tracking of costs. You smile.
I just welcome to the 20th century.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
not quite the 21st yet, but we're at least getting to the 20th century.
Well, and this one will be tied to ArcGIS, to our Esri system.
Oh, okay.
So, and we're moving to having everything basically function or tied to that somehow. So at one time we were going to look at procuring CMMS and the financial software at the same time, but not knowing how the 2 may interact with each other, we wanted the 2 to be able to talk as seamlessly as possible, so that if we go out and do a line repair or go out and clean a pipe, we would be able to put a cost associated with it, with internal labor costs for what we pull out of inventory. So it's it's a very comprehensive system, and that can be used for decision making when we do need to go out and do more extensive rehabilitation or replacement type matters. We'd be able to track complaints in it, but we have decided to first select the work order system, and then have them help us to put together what would be the
preventive maintenance.
Well, not even that. Help us put together the scope for what we need to go out there and find for the financial system. There may be some systems where they, because we're going to select a company that, is more robust than just the local type solution that we have right now. So they'll have such systems in place already in partnerships throughout the country, and they may know that their system works with financial system X and Y, but not Z, so they can help us to
What's
put
the name of
together
the
that
company?
solution. Well, we don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
We don't even know. We don't know. I haven't even cracked the books to begin the review, so we're hoping to have that review process completed by the middle of next week, and then we're gonna schedule up to 3 demos
Yeah,
with
make sure
systems.
it works with the guys. I mean, the
Yeah.
people that's gonna be writing the work orders and stuff like that.
So
It
we've
doesn't work
got,
for them.
yeah, we've got the maintenance supervisors on this review team, Kyle, and then
Okay.
myself. So the 3 of us are on this review team. So that, when we come up with that selection, it'll be following the demonstrations that we do, and it will, ultimately go before a committee and the board, more than likely, because it's gonna be for an extended contract period. So those,
I'd like you to keep me informed about that. I've used CMMS for a long time when I was working.
yep, I will do that. Other than that, there's not really anything, really noteworthy that I think that we'll speak of on either of these 2 sheets. But the next item, I want to talk a little bit more about further and about the possibility of considering it for inclusion at some point in time. But before we move on to that, I'll ask if you guys have any questions about anything that we do have going on.
So I was looking at budget remaining, so let's look at item 17, for example. You don't even have any bids for that or any idea of what it would cost?
We have an idea, because we had to work it into the budget. So we do have a cost, but we're not gonna advertise what we anticipate that
Okay.
cost to be, because then everybody's gonna be hitting it right on the mark.
Yeah.
So-
I know what you mean.
So, no, we haven't even begun receiving bids yet. The advertisement for that one just went out, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday of last week, on the South Carolina Business Opportunities website and into the newspaper. And I believe that Kyle's gonna have a mandatory pre-bid meeting, so everybody that's interested will have to show up, and he'll be able to physically walk them through and show what needs to be done, so that they have the opportunity to ask questions at that time before they put in bids.
All right, thanks.
All right, any follow-up questions for projects? All right. Mr. Yaldez, you want to go ahead and touch base on the next item, Richland Creek?
Okay.
Ceiling expansion, I was curious about this.
Yes, sir. So the next item, the Richland Creek expansion project, and this has to do with the handout in front of you. And I've printed off a big copy or a bigger copy up here that I'll try to use and point it out. So currently, at the bottom left, you can see that green line, which is our trunk sewer that goes up to Sandifer Boulevard, Highway 76, 123. I'm right way up the camera. Up the green part, the large part here is the golf course. Just to the right of that, on the what would that be, northeast corner up here, that's where the target development is taking place. There's been discussion, this goes back for years, and well before my time here. In fact, I think there was even a plan, a design put in place to extend this gravity sewer, our trunk, up along Richland Creek to serve the Bountyland area, and also extend it up even further than that up to Blue Ridge Boulevard, all the way up to the halfway branch station. So this first one kind of gives you a close-up of that area where the target Thornwell project's taking place. And then on the back side of what you have, up at the very top end of there, you'll see the halfway branch pump station. So that line eventually, it would have to go through design and surveying to determine what the best route would be. But there's a mechanism or a way to connect that gravity sewer along Richland at 123 up to the halfway branch pump station. And by doing so, that will fix a number of problems that I think we have, as well as Seneca Light Water has, regarding capacity issues. Halfway branch flows down through the western part of the city. It flows through the golf course, where we've had some issues over the last 6 months or so with the overflows. And while that didn't have to do anything with average daily flow, I think that my conversations with Mr. McLean here on a regular basis and with our consulting engineers, that's always been an area that's been identified as needing something to do. Well, if we can take that flow off of the halfway branch where it goes through the city's pipes before it comes back to us over on the eastern side of the system through Cross Creek, and move it to the trunk gravity sewer on the western side, it would serve the purpose as well to allow for that area where there's a tremendous increase or a tremendous demand in sewer availability over there. And it would also help with what I understand to be Light Water's capacity issues with their S&S South pump station that has limited what flow can go through that station to connect with the existing trunk that we have down there. Is that from what?
Yeah,
I
it helps
understand?
us.
Go ahead, Scott.
It helps us in a lot of cases because we could eventually bring Clifford Lee
Mhm.
down to Sheep Farm, and so it opens a lot of doors.
So,
We can eventually get that done.
and why I bring that up now is because this would qualify as an impact fee project. And while we don't have a cost estimate for what this project would be, it could be done in whole or it could be done in phases. But I think that eventually with any future development that would take place at the Thornwell property, this is, from what I understand, is titled Phase 1. So there's obviously another Phase 2 project. But I don't believe there's, and this is what I understand from Seneca's side of things, there's no capacity for a Phase 2 without infrastructure improvements on y'all's side, plus our side, because we're going to have to replace that line over the railroad bridge at 123 near Sealed Air to be able to accommodate flow that way. But by the extending this gravity trunk sewer, it assists in allowing for future development, as well as, I guess, what you call it, like imminent development that's been already discussed, because it would allow the existing target project to be able to connect to it off the back and remove a pump station that would Seneca Light Water would have to operate and maintain.
Chris, point out to me where the pinch point is there around Cryovac. I know we've got the line that goes into the railroad, but that line was sized mainly just for Cryovac, but we're still sending most everything off of that basin through S&S down that way, right?
That's correct. So everything that you see here, and I think Scott would be able to help explain it more, but like all of Walmart's flow, Tractor Supply's flow, Applewood Shopping Center's flow, the YMCA, the Sheep Farm Road pump station, like I don't know that there's capacity in y'all's system anymore for much flow through
Yeah,
that.
no.
That
Sheep
catches
Farm.
Radio Station, Red Credit Union, Park Place.
So all of that would flow down and tie in at that same manhole. It's right beside the bridge there on 123, and it's the same manhole, I believe, that the Cryovac force main ties into. So there's two force mains that come together, and then it flows by gravity down from that point across the railroad all the way to the treatment plant here. So does that answer your
It does,
question?
thank you.
And, really, I think, thinking back a number of years when Bob Ferris was there was always, and I can remember having the discussion, I believe, with the Thrifts, that there was talk, and with the location of that Sheep Farm Road pump station, about eventually bringing sewer up and removing that station from service too. That was kind of a long-range goal with the location of that station. So it would help, I think it would help us out tremendously, because if we have to do anything at that railroad bridge, I do not see DOT letting us upsize that pipe going across and hanging from that bridge.
Not without replacing the bridge itself.
So
So
I
I
think,
wait. So Scotty, the idea was to eliminate S&S by using Sheep Farm, but pumping it west under Bob's plan to come back behind the Thornwell and tie back in there.
Yeah, the plan hopefully eventually is like Chris said, get a gravity up to here, and we would be able to eliminate S&S South, the Walmart pump station, Sheep Farm Road pump station, and then have Clifford Lee's
Gravity.
gravity too, and also eliminate that one. It's kind of a long-term fix.
Where is the sheep farm pump station at in relationship to Bounty Land Road and sheep?
It's about midways between Bounty Land and 123 at the bottom of the hill where the creek is. If you look off to the left, just
Okay.
before Stonebrook, it's kind of sits there in the hole.
So to me, again, if there was an existing line there, we'd have to consider either running a completely new parallel line with impact fees, but there's no line there. So again, the whole project would qualify for the use of it because it would be entirely for growth. So what I'm asking today, and there's no vote on this matter, but to determine if there's interest in considering looking at that. And that would be something that I would be able to give to the engineer, whoever, one of the engineering firms that we would select with the IDC. There's no tremendous rush on it right now, but at least looking at getting it to that location on the northwestern side of the Thornwell property, at least to start with, to allow for that flow to go through that way. It would free up capacity at the S&S South station, which would then allow for additional capacity at the Bounty Land pump station and then that general region.
Give me an estimate. 4 million, 20 million, 80 million, 10 million,
Oh, it's gonna be, I think the whole
12 million.
The whole project was estimated to be okay, so Ritson Creek Trunk Sewer Extension, they have that one, the whole thing at being about $8 million. And Ritson Road Gravity Sewer is another 2. So I believe that's for the entire run of the line.
All the way up to halfway.
I believe
branch
that's-
and over to Sheep Farm.
That I'll have to look
For
further
10?
into.
I'm just trying to get an idea. When you're talking about using impact fees, right, to help,
Mm-hmm.
obviously we don't have $10 million in impact fees laying around.
We have in over 6.
Okay.
So we do have over 6 million plus whatever's going to be coming from target development. And I think this would be, I would suggest this being, or consider this being a good use of those fees. Just because of the demand, the number of calls we get for capacity, as Mr. McLean well knows, because you guys receive them too. And it would be
You have a
able
few
to
minutes
assist-
after this, let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I certainly would have interest in pursuing it.
Oh, absolutely.
How we pay for it, obviously. I mean, it benefits not only, the sewer authority, but Seneca and the growth and development right in the 3-city triangle. And that's the beauty of that particular project. There's no one area that's going to benefit. You're talking about benefiting right in the middle of all 3.
Well, and the thing too, if the project comes to complete fruition and it does reach up to halfway branch, we get, the number of calls we get, as you well know, that we get along Blue Ridge Boulevard, and that would be in the Seneca water service area and Walhalla water service area. I had one on Monday for another, fairly large parcel that's looking to construct, possibly it that way.
There's a restriction there at Bounty Land and Sheep Farm that all those parcels of land right in there because there's no sewer, right? They can't develop that?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
There's-
Okay.
They can, but they can't.
They would have to
They have these
extend.
septic
Yeah.
tanks that they're doing residential.
That would help that area up in there too, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes. And those are the only 2 items that I have for item C.
All right, D, action items, consider moving the date. So with my addition to this committee, I'm gonna cause a problem on day 1, unfortunately. So Wednesday mornings is a busy morning for me with the mayor, and we've got a radio show, and I've got staff meetings, set staff meetings on that day every week. So I would like to request if we could entertain moving this particular meeting from Wednesdays to a Thursday, or, I guess finance meets on Mondays, right?
They meet on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays. But maybe look at a Thursday instead of a Wednesday if that suits.
Yeah, that's fine.
You okay with that? So keep it the same week, but just move it to Thursday mornings at 9.
I'll have to get my head wrapped around that.
I know, I'm sorry.
But no.
Wednesday mornings for me are just, busy.
Tuesday or Thursday's fine.
Yeah, Thursday's fine.
Whichever.
So next month, that would put us on the 18th. Chris, is that right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, and then October would be the 16th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, that works good.
Yeah,
I'm looking
that
just a
works.
few months ahead, and Thursday mornings at
Well,
9 would be great.
Scott, make sure he brings some Chick-fil-A biscuits.
Yeah,
So was it 8:30?
8:30 is fine.
On the-
Yeah,
that's fine.
time's fine. I just wanted a different day.
On the third Thursday. And that would require a vote. Also, before you proceed with anything with that, I did check with Lawrence Flynn just to make sure there's no conflict in any of our documents that required it to be at this day or time. And Lawrence was stated that, no, there was no issues, nothing in the bylaws to address it. He didn't see anything even regarding the procedures, whether it would be require a full board vote or if the committee can make that decision themselves. And the only requirement is that we do have this as a standing committee. So with that said, no legal concerns.
Well, since it's my fault, I guess, this committee, I'm allowed to make a motion, am I not?
You may.
Since it's my fault, I'll make the motion that we move the standard meetings for the Operation Planning Committee to the third Thursday of the month at 8:30 a.m. here in the boardroom.
I'll second.
Yes.
All right. We got a motion and a second on the floor. Do we have any other discussion? All right, everyone in favor by way of aye? Opposed likewise? All right, motion carries. All right, Chris, any environmental or regulatory compliance matters to update us on?
Fortunately, no. We're still waiting on our on the NPDS permit. We did provide comment to DES on the matter, and we're just kind of sitting back waiting on them to give us some type of response. So it hadn't been quite a month yet, but these processes can drag out for a period of time. So I don't think we're in any rush, other than our PAA going online is tied to that permit. But I think we're comfortable doing what we're doing now for as long as we need to. And I don't have any miscellaneous items.
All right.
Either.
Any topics that any of the members would like to bring to the floor for discussion?
You got anything?
Always
I
learn
did,
something.
but you brought it up under your C2, so. All right, hearing no further discussion or topics, we'll move on to upcoming meetings. Please make note that the OMP is to be considered at this meeting, so we're now the third Thursday of the month at 8:30. Finance and Administration, August 26th at 9, and then our next Board of Commissioners is September 8th at 4 p.m. here in the boardroom. Ad hoc will meet September 11th, 2025 at 9 a.m.
All right.
Is that it?
That's it.
Appears to be it.
Okay, well, do I hear a motion we adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, go back to work or be retired or whatever
Yeah,
you
go
do
back
over
to
there.
being retired.